from Minnesota has 8.5 minutes.
I reserve.
The gentleman from New York reserves. The gentlewoman from Minnesota is recognized.
Madam Speaker, I yield 3 minutes to the gentlewoman from Georgia.
The gentlewoman from Georgia is recognized for 3 minutes.
Thank you. I rise in opposition to the 39 amendments packed into one little grouping called En Bloc. The reason why I'm opposed is some of these amendments are noble and worthwhile proposals on their own, but they do not outweigh the underlying problems of the legislation or some of the truly bad amendments in this block. The amendments include provisions that would further inject identity politics into the Violence Against Women's Act, which we have heard over and over in this debate. There are studies about desperate impacts and measures that unnecessarily differentiate how we treat different groups of people. The block, this entire block of 39 amendments, includes amendments that further encroach on the affairs of state and local governments by creating new grants and pilot programs and spending more of the American taxpayers' hard-earned dollars. One amendment in this block is designed to incentivize states to legalize prostitution engaged by minors. Prostitution engaged by minors to help sex trafficking victims. How does this make any sense? It doesn't. Of course, we all want to stop sex trafficking, but this proposal has not been thought through and could have disastrous unintended consequences. I'm going to say disastrous consequences. We need to return the Violence Against Women's Act to its original intent that Congress passed in an overwhelmingly bipartisan manner almost 30 years ago. H.R. 1620 will expand and alter fundamental nature of the Violence Against Women's Act by imposing the trans agenda, putting biological men in prisons and women's shelters. It does more to advance the Democrats' progressive agenda than it does to protect women who need protection. Also concerning is the fact that this legislation did not undergo committee consideration. One would ask, why not? No committee hearing for this bill or these en bloc amendments. Why not? No committee markup for this in Congress. Why not? Rather than rushing to pass this bill, we should have taken the time to truly examine the issues and determine what, if any, additional resources, reviews, or studies are necessary. We all stand in opposition to any violence against women. Unfortunately, the government lockdowns during COVID-19 pandemic resulted in an increased amount of domestic violence, increased depression, increased suicide, increased suffering. We have an urgent need to address violence against women, and we should at all times, but not like this by changing this so radically and including biological men. I urge my colleagues to oppose these amendments and the underlying bill, H.R. 1620. I yield back.
Madam Speaker, I